Yes guys, it's Jando. Today we're going to be looking at how to make a wobble bass in Serum. We're also going to be looking at how to make a stab bass as well, but that's going to be an additional thing at the end. But yeah, the main bass we're going to be looking at is this wobble bass. But yeah, let's jump straight into the track, show you what the track sounds like with the bass in context. We'll jump straight into the tutorial video.
Which way do you think we should go? I just want to go back.
Yeah, that's the wobble and the stab that we're going to be looking at. Let's jump straight into it. So we've got a fresh Serum patch here, and what I am going to say before we jump into the tutorial is all of the sounds that I show in these videos plus more, all of these style of sounds I always put onto my website in little sample packs or Serum preset packs that I make really affordable for only £10 a pack. So yeah, if you want to go and support me, head over to my website jandodnb.com. Go and grab yourself a pack or a few packs. I've got a big bundle deal on there as well to make it even cheaper to buy all of them as a whole. But yeah, just to support me now that I'm doing this full time, luckily, and thanks to you guys buying my packs and supporting the YouTube, I'm able to do this full time, which is very, very appreciated. But yeah, let's jump straight into it. So to start off this patch, we're going to be going into digital, and we're going to be looking at Dirty Saw. I'm going to go digital here. And Dirty Saw. We're going to be pushing our wavetable up here to 68, just about there. We're going to pull down our level of our oscillator A as well as our random, and then we're going to turn on our oscillator B now. Go to analog, basic shapes. We're going to be using this wavetable here. So right now our patch is going to be completely silent, obviously because we've turned down our level on both oscillators, so no audio output at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to modulate our level. So we're going to modulate our LFO to our level here. So we're going to modulate this like that. We're going to pull this back to about 40%, and we're going to leave that as is, and we're going to create our shape now. So this is the shape that we're going to be working with, and we're going to be working with 1/16 rate as well. And then we're going to change it over to trigger here. So that means the sound continuously plays, and it isn't just like a, with envelope, it's just a one shot. With trigger, it continuously plays. So we're going to keep that on trigger. We've got that modulated here. So now, this should be sounding a little bit like this. Cool. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drop our oscillator A -2 octaves. And then we're going to push our oscillator B +1. And now we're going to use oscillator B by using FM from B on our oscillator A here. And what we're going to do is push our oscillator, we're going to push our FM, sorry, up to 40%. We start getting more of like a gritty sound coming through now. So next we're going to turn on our sub oscillator, pull the octave down, level all the way down. And we're going to turn our direct out on. Then we're going to apply LFO 1 to our sub. Now we've got a really sub-heavy track, a sub-heavy sound, sorry. So we're going to flick on our filter as well here. Go down to MISC, add bass. What we're going to do is we're going to flick on B. And we'll do the key track here. We can put noise on if we want to add a bit of noise to it, just to add some texture, but we're going to put our filter key track on as well. Pull this down here to 61 Hertz. Now we're just getting pretty much pure low end. So we're going to modulate, pull that to about 5 to 10, just like that. Push our res up here to 63, and then we're going to modulate that as well. Going to modulate that about 20, do 25, and we'll boost our drive slightly as well to about 15%. Perfect. This is what we're going to have for pretty much just for this whole section. We're just going to slightly change our envelope down here as well. We're going to push our attack up here to 224, what I've got in the original, and just change that there to 224. Hold is going to stay the same. Our decay is going to go backwards slightly to 494. Our sustain is going to stay. Then we're just going to boost our release slightly as well to 136. We can change that to the exact. 132 would be fine, but we'll stick with the exact 136. And that kind of just rises into it slowly now, which is nice. But what we're also going to do whilst we're on this page as well is we're going to create the kind of thickness to the wobble, if that's how you want to describe it. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this little triangle envelope like this, a triangle LFO like this, set it to trigger, 116 rate as well, and then we're going to assign this to our level here at about, we'll go for about 65%. And that's all we need to do for that. Now we can move on to our FX tab. So in our FX tab, we're going to be using distortion up the top, followed by an EQ, and a hyperdimension, then a filter, and then our compressor. So for our distortion here, we're going to set this to and leave this at 25%. Then we're going to take our LFO and modulate that, put that on there, which goes all the way up to 100. Cool. Now we're going to use that EQ. We're going to put a low pass on it. We're going to push our frequency up a bit. We're going to be about 400 hertz. We're going to pull our Q back. We're going to leave our gain as is as well. Then as for the right hand side of our EQ, we're going to pull our frequency back here. Pull our gain slightly back as well. Be about 52 odd percent. And then we're going to boost our gain here. Just open up some of those kind of high mid frequencies as well. As for our hyperdimension here, we're going to leave this at 40%. I'm going to push that detune up to about 78-80%. And then we're going to pull our mix right down. Go with 7%. Pull our size down quite a bit here. We're going to, well, let's pull our size all the way down. And then we're going to assign LFO1 to our mix here. And we're going to assign it at about 25 to 30%. We'll go with 30% for now. Cool. And now we're going to move on to our filter. So for our filter, we're going to go down to misc, reverb. And for our cutoff, we're going to do 486. We're going to leave our res all the way down here. We're going to boost our drive up a bit to, let's say, again, between 25-30. Don't have that sound come through a bit more. Push our damp up as well, about 25-30 as well. And then we're going to pull our mix back here, back to about 45%. So we just have that kind of thin layer. So that layer that we've just created with the reverb filter, we're just kind of having a thin layer over the top of it. We've done that by using the mix knob to mix it into the original sound a little bit more. Cool, so onto our compressor here. We're just going to pull back on our threshold. We're going to pull back to about negative 10 dB. We'll pull back our ratio. Push our attack up slightly. It'll be 157 there. We're going to push our release right up here. It'll be about 225. And then we're going to push our gain up as well. With the gain, we'll go to about 10 dB. And now we've really got that sound coming through. If we look at it here, it's really starting to come through a lot more now, which is nice. So now we're going to look at our post-processing. So for our post-processing here, we're going to be starting off with a saturator, which has just got a slight 2.86 dB boost on it. Now, this isn't really doing anything special. It's giving the sound a little bit of like extra grit, maybe a bit of extra kind of what sounds like distortion, but is saturation. But it's mainly just adding that little bit of volume to the sound, really. It's just a kind of gain staging tool in a way, but it does add a little bit of grittiness to the sound as well. We've got a 2.86 dB drive on there. So, oh, now we've got our decapitator here. So with the decapitator, we're going to be at drive 3. Well, 3 and a bit really, but yeah, about drive 3. Low cut all the way down, tone up, high cut all the way to the right. Thump and steep is down. We pushed our mix sustain all the way up, and then we just got a slight bit of reduced on the output here. And yeah, we're on mode style A as well. Yeah, sounding pretty nice. Now we've got our FabFilter Saturn Pro, FabFilter Saturn 2, sorry if I can speak. We're using the clean tape preset. I've maybe slightly changed some of these around. So some of the values here, we've got negative 5.29, negative 10, negative 5.42, and plus 493. And we just push, basically it's just bringing out some of those extra frequencies here. And we're boosting them in their specific bands really, pushing those certain frequencies up. And then yeah, so moving on from that, we've got our FabFilter Pro R. Now, basic reverb. Adding that kind of big room width to it that we're then mixing in. So we've got 7.4 on the space, 20.27% on the mix. Our stereo and our decay rate stay, as well as these all stay the stock. And then here, as you can see, we've messed around with that EQ a little bit, so we kind of got that mid-high section really coming through with our reverb EQ. Next we've got our glue compressor. Now for the glue compressor, just basic compression really. We could even open up this compressor a little bit more. There we go, open up the compressor a little bit more and have it a bit more compressed. Then we've got another EQ, which again is just boosting that kind of high mid section really, or mainly the high section, just to open it up a little bit more. And then we've just got our EQ at the end here. Again, slight boost on the high section, and then we're rolling off that low end that we don't need, so that we're layering it with a sub bass. So yeah, that's the sound there. And what I've also done, as you can see here on the original sound, we've got some a return track here. We've got our return track set to negative 20, and on our return track is a bit of parallel compression. If we just solo our parallel compression channel, boosting our bass and using parallel compression to make it bigger. Uses the gain station tool as well to make it louder, bigger, and more compressed as well. So yeah, that's our sound overall. That's how you make a kind of nice little wobble bass.
I just want to go back.
Cool. So that's how you make a wobble bass in Serum. It's kind of like, it's got a little bit of boost style to it, almost like little bit like the Nan Slapper bass. That kind of, it's not like a clean wobble. It's like a stabby wobble in a way. But yeah, so now we're just gonna have a little look at our stab bass patch. And the reason I'm not going to show you a fresh patch of this, because you can probably see from the post-processing here, all the exact same post-processing. And if we look at our patch here as well, it is the exact same patch as our wobble bass. I've recycled the patch to make a completely new bass. Not completely new, because it sounds somewhat similar, but yeah, I've just recycled the sample. So there's a few differences here, which I'll run through. Obviously, we've got a difference here in our octaves. So we keep the +1, but now we've got -4. We've pulled back on our attack, so that we've got a more stabby sound, because that's what it is, a stab bass. We've got a 1/8 dot, and we're keeping our 116 here. So we've got 1/8 dot and 116. For our cutoff, we've got 42 Hz, the 46. Our res is 19% with 30. And I'm pretty sure that is all of our differences. Oh, the fact that we're using harmonic series as well. So we're just using a basic sine wave here. And our FM from B is at 70% as well. Everything else just stays the same. We've not changed anything else. Our sub bass is at +1 as well. So we did change something else. But everything here all stays the same as well. Nothing changes. And it's literally the exact same patch that I've just recycled into something. And that's something that I do quite often with my sounds, is just work off of an old patch. Slightly changing a few knobs sometimes in Serum can make a huge difference, and that can either take you from a really nice bass and create a brand new one, or it can take you from a bass that's not very well made to changing a few things very slightly. Can make a massive difference, which is it's a really cool thing with Serum. But yeah, sometimes it's taking that kind of dull sounding bass that doesn't sound quite too full, or just doesn't sound enough, to change in one or two knobs, and it completely transforms the bass into something new. And that's something that I go over in my production masterclass. So I released a production masterclass before. All of the sales on that have now run out. It was an exclusive time thing, so there's no more of those available, but I'm bringing a new one out now. So there'll be the production masterclass version 2, which kind of covers more in-depth stuff for people looking to like really advance their production. Like, I'd say it's worth it for people that are just starting out and are really fresh, but this is mainly tailored to the people that have got a bit of experience in production and really trying to further their skill set. So if that's something that you're looking for, it's not out on the website yet. It will go up for about £60 on the website when it's fully done. But I do have a pre-order of it right now for only £40. So if you want to message me on Instagram, you can pay £40 today for the pre-order, and then as soon as it's released, it'll get emailed straight to you, and you saved yourself 20 quid basically. But yeah, that's the end of this video. If you want to get sounds like this, head over to my website, jandodnb.com. I've just dropped two brand new sample packs, a liquid D&B drums. There's like 20 drum samples in there, all liquid D&B, and I slipped a few little kind of jungly inspired ones in there as well as a brand new bass pack that I just brought out, which is full of 20 Serum presets for like jump up drum and bass, as well as not Belgium, like original UK jump up drum and bass, kind of rollery as well as all of the WAV samples with it. So 20 presets, 20 WAV samples to go with it. So yeah, cool, nice one.